In this episode, I want to talk about our recent camping trip to Crested Butte, Colorado, and some of the paleo meals that I ate during the trip. So first, wow, I had no idea how much I would miss you while I was gone. I kind of went on a detox, a digital detox, if you will, during this trip, because when you go camping, it's really hard to get cell signal and you kind of don't want to deal with your cell phone and searching social media and all of that kind of stuff while on it. And so it was great because I had all of this time where I just got to relax and not even worry about all this stuff. But then we went into town one day to get some ice and wood, and I checked and I had a whole bunch of comments, and it was just so uplifting to be able to get all these comments from you guys that were really helpful, and some of them were asking questions and I was able to help people, and it just made me feel great, and I just really appreciate your support. So I just wanted to say that. But having that detox was so nice because I think we always forget like how much our brains are constantly working, and even though I do meditate 10 to 15 minutes a day, it was kind of amazing to be able to just sit there the first few days of our vacation. And I'm an avid reader. I love romance novels and I read them like every night as my fun little hobby to do, like my kind of wind down activity. But the first few days while camping, I was just staring off at the scenery, at the beautiful scenery, and just looking at that. And it was just so great to be able to let my mind just relax and stop thinking about things. And so if I have one tip for you guys, is to try to do that, because it is just so refreshing and it just helps so much. And I feel like a totally different person now, which is just amazing because we just get so caught up in everything. So anyway, on to the trip. So we went to Crested Butte, which is about a 4.5 to 5 hour drive from us here in Broomfield, Colorado. And we stopped halfway in Buena Vista, Colorado at House Rock Kitchen. I don't think I have any video footage of that, but they actually had a gluten-free and paleo menu, which was awesome. So if you happen to be in the area, you should stop by there. It was delicious food. So then we got to our campsite a couple hours later, and I'm not gonna give you all of the meals that we did. I actually did another video last year that went all over paleo camping and all that kind of stuff. You can go back and I'll link to that in one of these places. But I'll give you the highlights of all the other things that I ate. So the first night we had a Thai chicken curry. It's out of this book, the Sunset Magazine's The Great Outdoors. And I modified the recipe slightly. It calls for soy sauce, I use coconut aminos, and it calls for coconut or regular sugar, I use coconut sugar, but mainly I stuck to the recipe. It does use rice noodles, and we did do that because sometimes I do have white rice and I seem to be okay with it. But you could use zoodles or sweet potato noodles or anything like that if you'd rather. It's a really good dish though. It's like so warming and really great when you're about to go to sleep in a cold tent. And we've actually had this for a couple of years now and it's been great. The campsite we stayed at was so weird because it was a cattle range, and so we had all these cows wandering through our campsite at all hours of the day. I've never seen anything like it before, but it was kind of cool. One of the breakfasts we had was also kind of out of this Great Outdoors cookbook, but I really modified it. It's a breakfast scramble, and we use white potatoes, and it calls for the adobo sauce from a can of Chipotle chili, adobo sauce, but I didn't have that, and I didn't want to have to open it all up. I meant to make it the other night, and I just didn't have it, so I just used powdered Chipotle chili on top of the potatoes, and it was fine. It's like potatoes, scrambled eggs, some green onions. I put bacon in it as well, so I added a can of green chilies. You can serve it with salsa, and the rest of my family had it with corn tortillas. I just had it plain and it was perfectly fine. Some of the views from this place though, oh my God, it's so incredible up there. I think Crested Butte may be my favorite place on earth. It's just so pretty. Definitely my favorite place in Colorado. One of the other dinners we had was, luckily we were able to have fires again. So we had been under a fire ban for most of the summer and we couldn't have fires even in a campsite with dedicated rings, but they lifted the fire ban in the county that we were at. So we were able to have fires. So we made the meatball packets that I actually have a recipe on my site. I'll link to it below. And we love these. It's like meatballs, shredded potatoes, some green chili, and we add some mayo, a fried egg, and some sliced cherry tomatoes, and it's so good. Oh, I love it. One of the lunches we had on a hike one day is that little kind of charcuterie platter that we've done. with some salami, nuts, olives, some dried fruit. We do dried apricots and figs and mangoes, and then also some Simple Mills almond crackers. This one hike we did was just so beautiful because of the waterfalls, and it was just such an idyllic spot, and I loved it. And talk about like stress relief. Oh my God. So my husband had a bit of an extra snack because while we're on that particular hike, he bet the kids that if they caught a grasshopper, he would eat it raw. And they did, which he wasn't really expecting, so we had to do it. Sorry for the vertical format of this. I did it for Instagram stories. We had a bet that Daddy had to eat a grasshopper if the kids got one. Oh. You gotta swallow it too.
Tastes like chicken.
She swallowed.
Need some water.
Another night we did Applegate Farms organic beef hot dogs with some potato salad that we had made at home. And my husband, he keeps, bless his heart, he keeps trying to find gluten-free hot dog buns for us, but we still have never found ones that we like. We tried a different brand this time, still, ugh, dry, ugh. One of the mornings, my son Nathan decided he wanted to cook for us, and it was good because it was just the Bircher's Paleo pancakes. They just add water, so they're great for camping. I personally don't like them at home because they use that monk fruit extract, which I can't stand. I think it tastes way too sweet, and I can taste it for like the rest of the day. But in a camping capacity, it's okay because, you know, it's just so easy to make, and I eat it with other things, so I guess it's not as bad. I just wouldn't eat them on a regular basis at home for any reason. We had those with some scrambled eggs and some sausage. And while I said I mainly ate paleo this time, I did have some not paleo meals just because it's hard to do like a whole entire week of not paleo meals. And so I don't actually have video of this, but I did have some pasta. It was like corn and rice mix. And then also one night we did tacos with corn tortillas, like the hard shelled ones, with ground beef and Spanish rice. And I have to say that it didn't seem to agree with me very well. I'm not really sure. I think it's the corn, but I did have some gluten-free baked goods and stuff too while we're in town. And so I kind of just totally messed up on every like bit of the elimination reintroduction part. So I'm gonna have to get back to eating the strict paleo for a while, and then I'm gonna have to do, like, you know, an introduction of corn and an introduction of beans and things like that just to see if any of those particular ones affect me. But this week I ate them all, and it affected me because my stomach did not feel good. I was gassing everyone out, like terrible, terrible smelling gas. Like it was so bad. So it was an obvious sign that something wasn't working with me. But you're on vacation. I don't know what else you're gonna do. It was kind of hard to go grocery shopping and cook and prep a lot of stuff at a campsite, so. But as a result, the last night we didn't actually have anything to eat because I had left that open in case we wanted to eat out or go to the grocery store and get something else. And so we opted to do the grocery store thing because we were enjoying being in front of the campfire. It was our last night, that kind of thing. So I went and I got some of those Adele's sausages, and then I also got asparagus because I was like, I need some vegetables, which is crazy for me because if you had known me like 5 years ago, I wouldn't touch a vegetable if I was on vacation or like didn't have to. But I did this time because my body just needed it. And the asparagus was about the only thing that would be easy to cook on a camp stove. And so we just sauteed that with some olive oil, salt and pepper, and then had the sausages as well. So then just as a little extra, we had bought a carton of eggs so that we could fry some eggs the next morning, which meant we would have 4 extra. So we decided to fry an egg and add that to our dinner as well. And it was really good. I liked it. Different for a camping meal for us, but I really liked it. And even though my stomach wasn't feeling great, I still had to have s'mores because you're camping, and And then the last morning for breakfast, we had fried eggs, and then I actually got some of that pre-cooked bacon at the store. Our King Soopers, which is a Kroger store, has the organic bacon. It's not pastured or anything, but it's organic, and it doesn't really have any extra ingredients on it. It's been pre-cooked, and it's in a box, and it's really great because that way I just kept it in the like dry goods pantry kind of bags in our camping section instead of having to keep it in the cooler along with everything else, we didn't have a lot of room in our cooler for a week worth of food. So it was nice to be able to just keep that up. And then you don't have to really worry so much about the cleanup of all the bacon grease and all that kind of stuff when camping like you do if you have raw, fresh bacon. And I just had to point out, this is not even everything that went in the car, but if you watched my backpacking video earlier in the summer and how we carried everything on our backs, look at the difference when you go car camping. There's so much stuff. But yeah, it was a really great trip and I really enjoyed it. And the scenery there is just so amazing. So I recommend if you're looking for a place to go in Colorado, Crested Butte is definitely a great place to check out. And we came home to this in our garden. So yeah, we're gonna have some zoodles tonight and I'll probably be making my chocolate zucchini bread recipe as well. I'll link to that below as well.